Oh, hello, and welcome back to IGN Live from Gamescom. My good friend Brian and I are talking about Far Cry 5 because we got to play the Gamescom build of the game. We shot a bunch of stuff up. We liberated the town. We pet some dogs.
Yeah, we tried to do a lot of those things.
We encountered some wildlife.
We definitely did that. So my take on this game, I think from the first time hearing about it, was a little bit divisive because I like the idea of this franchise taking sort of a more tonally serious approach to things. I like this new character direction. This new setting in Montana is a little more grounded than I'd say this franchise has been in the past.
This guy's not worried at all that
his
warehouse is on fire.
But I will say I was a little nervous as a Far Cry fan that this game wouldn't get the sort of hit the same ridiculous highs that I expect from that franchise.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of Primal, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've liked everything Far Cry since 3.
Yeah, same here, same here. And so, like, I kind of was like, where are the Siberian tigers? Where's the, the honey badgers? Where's all the ridiculous stuff?
Well, you're throwing rocks at your dog here.
I didn't mean to do that. So I will say that, like, having played this game, you can kind of put those issues aside. I don't think you need to be worried so much. This does feel like a Far Cry game at the end of the day. It feels a little bit more serious, but you do have those ridiculous moments. I did set things on fire. I did fight a bear. You fought a wolf. The cool thing is, like, there is wildlife out there. It's just a little bit more grounded in reality. Like, we saw some deers running there. Now let's get into like something I'm a little worried about this game. Here's my first encounter with a bear. That's
down he goes.
He's it. That is the biggest enemy in Far Cry 5, and I took him down like that. So
now, yeah, sometimes they dial down the difficulty level for like preview builds, so people can like get through more of the game and don't get stuck and they're constantly dying.
I'm totally with you on that.
We don't know.
I really hope they make the. I want you, Ubisoft, if you're watching, make the bears harder. Make the bears very, very hard. That is the biggest animal you have in your entire universe.
You took this guy down really fast, too.
I know.
You're just wrecking stuff in Far Cry 5
Maybe I'm just amazing at this game. That's why I'm fighting that street right now.
The simplest possibility, the simplest solution is usually the right one.
Yeah.
So maybe you're just the best Far Cry 5 player.
It's possible. Yeah, I'll see you guys at the ranked Far Cry 5 matches. Now, like, the interesting thing about this demo is it was very much telling me what to do, and I hate that in Far Cry. I want to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I want to go find the floating rocks, apparently. But no, there's a lot going on in this demo.
Here they are. We found them.
And
the fabled floating rocks of Montana.
They wanted me to go talk to characters. They wanted me to sort of start missions, and I was more interested in just kind of messing around because I think that's a big part of this game, right? And the franchise in general is sort of creating chaos and getting out there and getting into trouble. So I found myself getting into a good deal of trouble. Then you fought a couple of, and you had a couple encounters with wildlife as well. How did they go?
I fought a wolf that was the opposite of your bear friend. I fought an invincible wolf. I must have pumped 1,000 rounds into it. So either the wolf was invincible or I'm the worst Far Cry 5 player.
Well, that's actually
it's also possible.
That's a very iconic Montana animal, is the unkillable wolf. He's on the back of the Montana $1 bill.
So they dropped us into the game. If it wasn't right at the beginning, it was very close to the beginning, and you liberate your first town.
Yeah.
And then you make some friends in town, and they start giving you early missions. And one of them is to go and meet the pilot gentleman who we started off at the beginning of this little presentation.
Yep.
And you can take his plane and just fly right across Montana from the very beginning if you so choose.
Which is really awesome. Oh, that dog was way better at jumping over that fence than me. So what's cool about this is that you do get companions. I chose Boomer because he's a dog, and why wouldn't I?
Yep.
But he gets to do cool stuff, like you bring him to an environment and he'll actually sort of sniff out enemies from a distance. He can spot things from afar and sort of tag them for you. So like right here, you saw those little paw prints above that pack of deer. I believe that's what you call a group of deer, a flock.
A pack.
We'll figure that out.
I'm being told that's correct.
That's what we're hearing, right?
Yep.
And we have a nature specialist in our ears right now. So it was really cool because he can identify that from a distance. And so if you're coming into sort of an enemy encampment and there's snipers and there's a couple of guys with machine guns off to the ridge, you can sort of sense all those things from afar and then approach things from there. Now, like, I really like this setting.
You just walked right into someone's house.
I know. Well, he had left his door wide open.
It's a JRPG. throw some pots around.
I realized you could go into his house, you could shoot his microwave and his glasses and leave, which is very neighborly. That's again a famous.
Or take the liquor.
Take the liquor, shoot his mugs, and bounce. It's a very neighborly Montana thing to do.
Another a buddy possibility for you to choose is a very helpful woman with a sniper rifle, and she'll run around with you and snipe whoever you tell her to.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is that's a good thing to have on your side. So in general, like I think my feeling about this game is it went from being kind of lukewarm to I'm definitely a little more excited about it. I do miss the kind of ridiculous Siberian tiger, honey badger stuff from Far Cry. I haven't really seen any bears on fire yet, although I'm sure those are coming. What I really want in this game is I want one character in this game to own a zoo. But look, now we've already got a truck fight. I threw dynamite at him, so this will go well.
I think it might have just been a rock. I didn't see an explosion there.
Well,
it is on fire.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, this is a sort of encounter that just sort of happened dynamically on the fly.
And this is very common for Far Cry. The enemies will rove the countryside, just looking for people to attack.
Looking for squabbles and fights.
Yep. And if they spot you, they're going to engage.
Yeah, exactly.
These are like the enemy forces. We didn't get to visit any of like the main bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a family that has taken over this whole area. And is sort of trying to indoctrinate people with their religious propaganda. We didn't encounter any of the key figures.
Yeah, and so you get a lot of that kind of stuff where you'll turn the corner and there'll be like this big house and it's kind of taken over by these religious cult fanaticisms. And then on the side there's like a lake and you go fishing.
Yeah, you're gonna blow up the deer.
You can go fishing for deer with dynamite. So this is where it's like, okay, that's Far Cry.
I like how the deer didn't really explode. It just sort of slowly collapsed.
Exactly. And you get the option from there to sort of like skin them, pick up their stuff. I don't know what kind of stuff you can make out of it, like cool like John Deere wallets, no pun intended. Anything you want to do,
I like it when your character at the end of this day, when he gets home, his wife's going to be like, "Hi, how was your day?" "Oh, it was okay. I shot 100 people, and I killed a bear, and I went swimming, and I went into a stranger's house and stole their liquor and shot their microwave, and I blew up a pack of deer with dynamite."
Right. But I'm not the enemy, I swear. So I do like where this game's going. I will say I ran into a couple of bugs here and there. This is an early build, obviously. It's a demo. There is that kind of weird level of jank that you do get sometimes from Far Cry games. But
this is also like an early build of the game.
Yeah.
A game that's currently in development. So you can't really fault it for that too much.
Yeah. So I guess like what kind of things do you want to see from the story here? Because I feel like they have to walk that really interesting line of like sort of tackling these serious themes, but also kind of having fun with it.
Yeah, of course they did start this. They started development on this game years ago, before we found ourselves in the current political climate we're in now.
Right.
There's no way they could have known, what would be going on in the world when this game actually released. But I would like to see, Far Cry is always known for having really strong villains.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a lot, like I was saying, of this of our main villain and his family yet. So I'm just hoping for another good performance, another iconic, memorable villain. One of those guys that they're really bad guys, but you still like to spend some time with them in the environment of the game.
Like I really liked Voss. I really liked Troy Baker's Pagan Min. Like I mean, he's such a just uniquely interesting villain for a video game, and we haven't really gotten to know a lot of the characters in this game yet. And that's what I think. I'm totally with you. It really excites me.
Are you gonna get this guy's plane? This is Pilot Pete.
I specifically don't get his plane. I think I just get in some more trouble out there with some animals and some mean men. But yeah, it's looking good so far. I felt like all the weapons were handling pretty well for the most part. How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I think the gunplay usually feels good in Far Cry.
Yeah.
We start out in that main town that we have to liberate. There's all these enemies. What I did first is I went up to the water tower to start, the outposts are my favorite thing about Far Cry.
Yeah,
I like to get a good vantage point, identify all the enemies, and then take them out, snipe them from a distance, as many as I can before I have to get down in there and actually get my hands dirty.
Yep.
And that's why I selected the sniper companion buddy, because you can just tell her to take out some people for you as well. And there's also a sniper rifle up there. I know you were tried to get up there too, but then you ended up throwing dynamite.
Yeah, so I was trying to do some cool stealth stuff, and I laid on the roof, and I was waiting for the bunch of the enemies to sort of like creep around to the side so I could stealthily hunt them down.
Yeah.
And I went to throw a rock to get their attention, and instead I threw dynamite on the roof right in front of me, which created a small explosion and
noticed that.
Alerted everybody. So that was not great. But here we do see the flying stuff, which I actually really like the way they've handled flying in the last few games. If you look at like Far Cry 4, there was that kind of that weird rickety Himalayan helicopter thing with like bicycle pedals on it. And then in Primal, there were eagles. And here we've got just straight up helicopters.
Yeah,
so
you didn't get to fly on the eagles, but you can like it sort of had an eagle vision.
That's true. That would have been too weird.
Is this you playing? Are you piloting this?
Oh, this is not me. I would have crashed this thing by now.
This is gorgeous, beautiful Montana.
Yeah, you fly around, shoot anything you want, like these gas towers down here.
All right, that's a little bit of a look at Far Cry 5, the Gamescom demo build that we got to check out. The Far Cry 5 is out in February. It's a little. I'm still very excited for this game. I love Far Cry. The game is in a little bit of maybe a rough spot right now, but of course, there's plenty of time to patch that up, polish that up.
I think it'll come together.
Stay tuned. More to come from IGN Live on Gamescom right after this.